Thank you for joining me on this season of Trust and Believe Transformation Stories. This season, we're doing something a little different in efforts to keep you inspired, motivated, and to hold you accountable. It's one thing to listen to the podcast, but it's another thing to take action on your daily transformation. So look at this season as a course in your personal transformation. Every other week, the episode will challenge you to take action steps to further enhance your personal life journey so that you can have constant progress. All you need to do to take action is to go to ShaunTfitness.com/SafeSpace. There you can download your worksheet of the week. By completing these assignments, you will continue to stay present by enhancing yourself and your life. To join the SafeSpace community, just fill out the information provided on the site and you will have access to monthly confidence building seminars, access to my live motivational talks, and each month will feature a guest speaker to help you sustain positivity in different parts of your life. Again, go to ShaunTfitness.com/SafeSpace, a community of positive people that are here to help you grow. For Trust and Believe listeners, use the coupon code TRUST at checkout and get 1 month free. That's ShaunTfitness.com/SafeSpace and use the coupon code TRUST. Welcome to the Safe Space.
Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Trust and believe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm so excited to be talking to you today. And what's really great is I'm actually in the south of France. In Nice, we just arrived yesterday for the start of our Shaun T Trains Europe tour, and I'm ridiculously excited. But I definitely want to jump right into last week's podcast, and basically, I'm going to talk about how you can release the magic inside of you. I'm going to take a slightly different turn than what we were talking about last week and talk about my experience being at the live show with Matt Franco and what I was observing along the way that was so profound. And I think you're really going to be able to relate it to your own life. Again, these Take Action podcasts aren't super long, but they're just processing the way you think about how you should go about unleashing any superpower you have. So if this is the first time you're listening to a Take Action podcast, make sure you go to ShaunTfitness.com/SafeSpace to download the worksheet that you're going to need for this particular podcast, so that you can literally write something down. And that's the reason why I'm doing these podcasts and these addendums, because I really want you all to take action on the things that you may have heard last week, or even if you didn't hear the podcast the previous week and it's your first time listening, I think it's important that you relate these things to your own life. So sit back, relax just for a few minutes so that you can learn how to unleash your own magic. All right, everyone, like I said, I'm in the south of France. Here's the funny thing. The reason why this is not a video is because I'm in the car. It's the best place right now for me to record. And if I take a little break and you hear the door open and shut, it's because it's hot. But anyway, that takes me right into taking action for yourself. What happens when you have to open the door to change the atmosphere in your life? And that's what I experienced when Chip and I went to Matt Franco's show in Vegas. Let me just tell you, first and foremost, that you have to go see this show. It's at the Link Hotel in Las Vegas. But I'm going to jump right in. So we walk in, and what I found to be very interesting is that the crowd is immediately alive. And that's the first thing I want you to write down today. What makes you feel alive? What is that thing? And for this particular show, we actually walked in and the room was buzzing. I think because it wasn't a dance show or something like Cirque du Soleil. When I say dance show, I mean like an artist. I think people felt free enough to sit back, relax. It was serving drinks. And even though that's an observation and people are out having a good time, I want you to write down right now what makes you feel alive? Is it a place? For me, it's the tennis court. When I walk, here I'm at the Patrick Mouratoglou Tennis Academy. When I walk into that place, or even before I walk into that place, I get immediately excited because of the feeling that I'm alive. This thing makes me feel so fantastic. Just being about to do something that I love to do. So write down right now what makes you feel alive. Okay, I'm going to move on because we're going to repeat this. We're going to go back over this. So after you write down what makes you feel alive, and now I'm going to go back into the show. So the lights go down. I'm a little bit nervous because I love magic, but I know this show really involves the audience. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't call me up on stage, Matt. And I hadn't even met him yet, but I know he knew I was there. So I was like, please don't call me on stage. But the next thing that was really great is that someone came out on stage to get the crowd a little bit excited. And so I'm not going to tell you names or anything because I want you to experience this for yourself. But what's really great about that is it takes the feeling of being alive and then it immerses you into the experience. So if you've been to a concert, or especially rap, it's like the hype man. If you've been to concerts, it's like, what's the opening act? Not to say that person is less talented, but what is the opening act? So what is the opening act to making you feel alive, right? And so for me, I'm going to this show, I'm there, I'm feeling excited, but what is that one thing? That thing is someone coming out on stage and maybe being a little funny and say, hey, like, let's immerse you into this experience. When I talk about my own personal journey, and if we stay with the tennis court, when I walk into the facility, the first thing I see is the front desk. I know that they have a nice restaurant in there, but the thing that really immerses me into the experience is the shop that they have, the tennis clothes and shoes and the rackets. I just get so excited. In addition to the glass door behind, as you walk through the reception, you can see the tennis courts. And right there, that is the thing that immerses me into the experience as soon as I walk in. So for you, what makes you feel alive, right? If it's working out, is it your step that you see? If you're doing Transform 20, is it the towel? Is it the water bottle? Is it the Energize that you're about to take, right? What immerses you into the experience? And if you're a person out there who, if you say, I love being home, okay, so what immerses you into the experience? Is it your kids when you walk in the house? Is it your greeting by your husband when you get home from work, right? So what is that thing that immerses you into the experience? And so really, it could be anything. And what makes you feel alive can be absolutely anything. I'm just trying to give you just some examples of how you can continue to write down. So the first thing we talked about is being alive. What makes you feel alive? And what is that thing that immerses you into the experience? The next thing is really freaking interesting. And I kind of hinted on it when I said I didn't want Matt to call me on stage. But what he did was he asked for people in the audience to be a part of this show. And I immediately got uncomfortable. And I know a lot of people in there probably got a little uncomfortable, and a lot of people in there raised their hand and they're like, me. So the third thing that I want you to do is, what is the dynamic switch that takes you from being immersed into it to making you feel like you are 100% a part of it, right? Because for me, like I was talking about the tennis court, or the tennis academy, I can see the court. But the thing that makes me feel like I'm a part now, the thing that's taking me deeper into that journey, is walking on the red clay. My feet can feel it. During Matt's show, the thing that people did, he asked, I'm not going to tell you too much, but he got audience participation. And right there, you become not only immersed into the experience, but you become a part of the experience. So in your own life, whatever it is that makes you feel alive, and the next thing that makes you feel immersed into the experience. Now, what makes you feel like you are literally a part of the narrative? What makes you feel like you're a part of the narrative? And write that down. So as these people are going on stage, it's really interactive, it's funny, it's engaging, and then something really spectacular happens. Something really spectacular happens during the show. And I'm going to give you a little bit without giving it away because I want you to go see the show. And of course, I'm observing this in a different way than most people because I know I'm going to interview Matt the next day. But something really spectacular happens. Something's going on stage, and I hear this couple behind me say, "Oh, wow. This guy is really good. Oh, he's just fantastic." And I said to myself, beyond the fact that I was excited that this couple behind me was enjoying the show, the next thing I said is, wow. Like, not only are these people feeling a part of the show, but they're actually feeling good. So when you're on your journey, if you're feeling alive, if you're getting immersed into the experience, if you're actually feeling a part of the narrative now, what is it about the thing that makes you feel alive? What is it about that makes you feel good? So attach it to a feeling. So does this thing make you feel happy? Does this place of you feeling alive make you feel happy? Does it make you feel excited? Does it make you feel scared? Does it make you feel nervous? Does it make you feel overjoyed? I want you to choose one word that describes how this thing makes you feel. And then I'm going to move on. It's going to be really quick. So you got what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel immersed into the experience, then what makes you feel a part of the experience, and then what is the thing that actually makes you feel like what are you feeling? Like, what is the thing that you're feeling, that adjective that of describing the feeling? And then last but not least, and this is, I think, where the magic happens for me. I'm watching the show. Matt is really good at taking you on a story. And then he says, and I don't want to give too much away, but basically, magic is about taking your attention away from what's happening and putting your attention on the better thing that distracts your mind. And I know that probably makes no sense, but because I want you to see the show, and you know magicians have their secrets. Now imagine you're in this experience, right? And this is where it gets real. People feel alive. They feel immersed. They feel like they're a part. This thing is overjoyed. And for a lot of people, when it gets to this point of feeling great, they find something negative that sabotages this entire experience. And what Matt was doing in the show is to say, if I tell you what I'm doing that's tricking your mind, it's going to completely ruin it. But I kind of have to be a little bit deceptive. And I have to say, no, stay positive, stay a part of the magic so that you can be in awe, so that your mouth can continue to drop and you can continue to stay excited. So for me, if I'm talking about the tennis court, when I start playing and if you hit a ball wrong or if you hit the ball into the net, you can immediately be like, oh, fuck, man, like I hit the ball into the net, or I missed the point, or maybe I lost that point, and then you get really upset with yourself. Or you can say, you know what? I know what I need to do to make it better the next time. So here's the hard part. When you're in this experience and the place that makes you feel alive, have you ever tried to sabotage it with something? Some people sabotage everything. They sabotage their results by eating. They sabotage their marriage by creating a narrative, maybe their jealousy. They sabotage their job by comparing, and this could be jealousy too, but comparing themselves to another coworker that possibly gets more attention from the boss, right? So I'm going to ask you, what is the thing that you do that can sabotage this feeling, this narrative that makes you feel alive? And then what can you do to change the mindset to keep yourself feeling really great? And that's where the magic happens in your journey. When you put all of this together and you know what place makes you feel alive and you know what's the thing that's going to immerse you even deeper into this experience and you know what it actually makes you feel a part of the narrative, and when you know the feeling that you get from being a part of the narrative? And how can you keep the negative thoughts away so that it's still magical? That's how you continue to create greatness in your fitness journey. When you start, you have to say, I'm doing this because this is going to make me feel alive. I'm doing this because I love to step, or I love taking my Energize, or I love having time to myself. That's what's immersing you into the experience. When you are literally working out, you're saying, I feel the sweat. I feel the burn. Now I'm a part of the narrative. I'm a part of the experience. I'm a part of what Shaun T is telling me to do. And then the feeling, oh, this is tough. Yes, but I feel great. This is making me feel invigorated, right? These are the adjectives describing that feeling. And then it gets to the point where you can say, I'm going to keep on going, or I'm going to stop. Or even if I stop, what am I saying to myself, right? This is where the true magic happens. Because even if you have to take a break, you have to say, I'm so freaking amazing because I'm in this, instead of being like, oh, this is so hard, right? There's a difference between how you keep the deception so that you stay positive. If it's your job, yes, someone else might get greater attention from the boss. But instead of being like, oh my gosh, that person gets more attention from the boss, how can you literally say, well, you know what? I'm going to find out what that person does in the off hours that may not necessarily pertain to work. Maybe they meditate. How do they stay positive? How do they continue to be proactive in their job and what they do? Because people stand out because they're doing something that stands out internally, right? They're pushing beyond the finish line. They're tapping into the reserve. No one just stands out just because. If someone's standing out because they're pretty, or because they have better eyes, or because whatever, then the person that they're standing out to has a terrible agenda. But what are you doing in your off time to continue to stand out and have the narrative? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you continue to create magic in your life. So I don't care how successful you are right now, if you're a Beachbody coach and you're a million-star diamond, or if you are day one in a nursing job you just got you just got your license. It does not matter. You are in control of your story. You're in control of the destination. You are in control of the feeling. And more importantly, when things can go left or go right, you have to remember you're a part of the deception. And it's not to say, and I want to be very clear, because there might be somebody that's out there saying, well, you know, Shaun T, well, negative things do happen. They absolutely do. Trust and believe. I'm not saying to ignore it. I'm saying, how do you change and continue to get out of your way? Because that's what you're doing. You're choosing a fork in the road. You can say, holy crap, I dropped the ball and I'm going to do X. Or, and I learned this, so now let me fix it. One of the biggest things is just apologizing to somebody or taking ownership to someone. You can literally change. Deception can be, you know what, I didn't tell the truth. So while this is going to hurt that person's feeling, let me tell the truth, right? So it's not about not accepting the things that went wrong. It's what's making it right. Obviously, we all know magic. There's something happening. Like, you know, no one can time travel for real. But what didn't we see, right? And then you as your own personal magician, because this is your life, so you know, right? You can accept what happens and you can make magic from that. So if something is not great in your life right now, and I'll leave you with this. If something is not great in your life right now, if the narrative is not exactly going the way you want, let me tell you something. You can change the narrative, because what you do have in your hands is control. So right now, if you're going through a divorce, or if you got fired from a job, or if you didn't succeed at that presentation at work, guess what? You have right now. You can take it. You can understand what's happening, but know that you are now in control of what you do going forward. And not to be negative, but some people might feel like a failure. So fail forward. Fail all the way forward. Failing is basically a trampoline to propel yourself into the next level. Because guess what? You have to go down to go up. So don't feel like you're throwing away years of a marriage, or don't feel like you're not accepting of your salary because you have one bad presentation, or don't feel like you have to throw in the towel in your workout because you gained 5 pounds. Great. Once you fall, you bounce a little bit higher. As long as you stay present, as long as you know what makes you feel alive, as long as you know how to continue to immerse yourself in the experience, as long as you know how to continue to make yourself a part of the narrative, as long as you know the feeling that you want to accomplish by staying in the journey, and last but not least, as long as you know how to be positively deceptive, to take the negative, turn it into a positive, and continue to be the magical you. You are so magical. Everyone is so unique. It doesn't matter who you meet. I'm telling you, they can do something that you can't do, or their brain is better at something and you're not. And that goes for you too. So don't feel less than. Feel magical. Create your magic. Create your story. Create your narrative. Because that's what makes you you. And always, always trust and believe in who you are.